Now, you most likely didn't know this, but sometime last week, the Golden Globe aired. Yes, sad time for Hollywood. Despite doing something as notable as having the Ukrainian president deliver a speech during the show, it was still a bummer. Yes, and a good reason why nobody cared about the show can be seen in the opening monologue. The very first act of the show was enough to make the few people who tune in change the channel. They were like, nah, we're not going to stick around to watch the rest of this nonsense. Obviously, it was delivered by the host of the show, Jerrod Carmichael, whose main goal that night was to sink the ratings of this show and the prospect of his career. And I'm here to announce to you guys that he succeeded tremendously. His hard work or lack thereof paid off. His performance wasn't even a performance. It wasn't. It was cringy and uncharismatic. And here is how it began. Take a look.
I am your host, Jerrod Carmichael. Sure. And I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm here because I'm black.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, or in case you cannot tell, nothing interesting is happening in that video. Nothing. It's a boring, weird, cringy monologue that tells an unnecessary story without any attempt to be remotely funny. He just rambles on about how it was difficult. Yes, according to him, it was very difficult. A difficult choice to choose to do this show. To take $500,000 to host a show and become a token black guy for an organization that never had a black member for years. Yes, it was a difficult choice. Taking that money was very, very difficult. It took a lot for him to make that decision, guys. And yes, Jerrod Carmichael is hosting the Golden Globes because he is black. And also because, he's gay. This is what we call intersectionality, because there's nothing about this monologue that remotely resembles talent. Nothing about it remotely resembles talent at all. He talks about the Golden Globe not having a black member since its inception, as if this is a discovery that was hidden from all of humanity. But this is not some, strongly guarded secret. It's not like some Pulitzer-winning journalist went on a very dangerous mission, crossing 7 seas and oceans and mountains, searching caves and ancient temples, looking for ancient scrolls that contain the names of every member of the Golden Globes. No, that was not what happened. This is just one of those facts that nobody really cared about because it never mattered. Never bothered a single soul in that building. Not even Jerrod himself, who is complaining bitterly about it. Many of them have received this award with glee and a full big smile on their face, never perturbed by the fact that no one that looked like them has ever been a member of the Golden Globes. It has never bothered anyone. Then George Floyd died, and all of a sudden, everyone is outraged by this so-called social injustice. Negro, please, where were you? Where was your outrage all these years? Where was it? Also, why is it a problem that the Golden Globes never had a black member until 2020? What about every other sector that is saturated by black people? Let's not act like those sectors do not exist. When there is less black representation, that's racism, right? But when there is less white representation in any sector of a country that is 70% white, it's fine. It's not a problem. Like, I still remember the hate Eminem received and still receives for being a prominent white rapper. Let's not act like that does not happen. And isn't it funny that when the Golden Globes was presumably racist, it was an interesting award show that gave us legendary opening monologue like what we got from Ricky Gervais. But now that they claim to be more inclusive and diverse, what do we get? An abysmal, pathetic show with the poorest rating in history. It's almost as if, racist Hollywood is what's good for show business, right? And what is Jerrod Carmichael supposed to do? Let's assume that there is a problem with the Golden Globes not having a black member, and for so long no one knew about this. No one in Hollywood was aware about this or aware of this fact. Let's say that was the case. Let's say that is the case, and this is a serious issue that points to the racism in this organization. Let's say that's the case. What was the best course of action for Jerrod? Isn't it to show the Golden Globes what they've been missing? Show them that black talent brings something valuable, unique, and great for business. This was his opportunity to show that he's valuable and not just some black gay comedian. Instead, he does the exact opposite and confirms his self-bigotry of low expectation by delivering the worst award show monologue in recent history. That's what he did. And he made this dumb decision because, that's the current trend in Hollywood these days. That's what I see in every Hollywood project these days. Every celebrity is now an activist. They believe that their role in society and how they serve humanity is through activism. right? Everyone wants to be a Dave Chappelle or a Muhammad Ali. But they forget that these men were the best at their craft. These are legends, not for their activism, but for their competence. And that competence is what gave them leverage and a voice, a significant voice. They've achieved so much that they could not and cannot be ignored. But who the hell is Jerrod Carmichael? An A-list comedian with zero reputation, zero leverage, and zero clout. Yet he addresses the crowd with contempt and zero professionalism, sat on the steps of the stage like he didn't want to be there, ignoring the very fact that he was supposed to be putting on a show for the viewers at home. That's what this guy fails to understand. This show is not about him or Black Hollywood or even the racist reputation of the Golden Globes. It's about giving the viewers at home a good time. And this is something that Ricky Gervais understood when he hosted this show, this very same show, a few years ago. He even told those present that this show wasn't about them and that he would entertain the viewers at home, even at their expense, at the very expense of those who were present. And he did just that. And that made that monologue one of the best monologues in recent history. That's a comedian who understood the assignment. He knows that the best he can do for humanity as a comedian is to make the audience laugh hard. Yes, anything else is secondary. Also, most of these celebrities, including Jerrod Carmichael, are in no position to lecture the public about anything. They are all in the same boat. All of them. Pretenders, hypocrites, and sellouts with no principle or moral compass. And that's another thing that separates Dave Chappelle and Muhammad Ali from the likes of Jerrod Carmichael. The likes of Muhammad Ali and Dave Chappelle are willing, and we are willing to do something for what they stood for. They were willing to sacrifice something for the things they believed. Dave Chappelle declined a $60 million contract. Muhammad Ali changed his name. These were controversial things during those periods. I remember Dave Chappelle being called insane for doing just that. And how he had to, for his peace of mind, had to leave for South Africa. These are people who are willing to put everything on the line for what they believed.
They were like, who is he to tell us anything? I'll tell you exactly who I am. I'm the one that got off the bus and left $50 million on the bus and walked.
But what has Jerrod done? What exactly has he done? Nothing. In his career, in his activism, he has done nothing. Zero skill in the game. There's nothing that you can ascribe to him that is significant or noteworthy. Nothing. Mediocre in every way, and proudly so. If he is outraged by Golden Globes' presumed racism, he would have, declined the gig and told those who came to meet, who meet him with this and be like, get out of my face. But he doesn't believe the things he's saying. He doesn't. And he's willing to do nothing about it. He's just another Hollywood race hustler, taking the easy way out. Give him money and he will absorb you of your racism. And the funny part was him in his monologue trying to act like, this is not enough for the Golden Globes this is not enough to absorb the Golden Globes of their racism. This is not enough, For him, it was like, they should not even count this as anything. But as always, guys, we know that this is a huge first step, right? This is a huge first step. If he thinks that, in a way, the Golden Globes did not win. They won. As far as the race game is concerned, they won something. But all this nonsense, all these shenanigans, highlights the primary issue with Hollywood recently, which is that the talent pool in Hollywood has run dry. It has. Climate change is probably responsible for this, but this fact is real, more real than climate change. And Hollywood is trying to distract from this problem by focusing on propaganda and activism, claiming to be the conduit of cultural change that will usher in a utopia of equality, diversity, and inclusion. But the audience, they're not having it. They can see through it. They are tired of it. Almost every show and movie last year was a bomber with low viewership and revenue. The audience want to see raw talent again. They do. But Hollywood has gone too woke for talent to survive. Hollywood is now a place where amazing talent go to die. And people now prefer to watch YouTube videos made from someone's basement than to watch a cinematic production with $1 million budgets. That's what we have now. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed the video, then hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and ring that notification bell. Also, I want to know in the comments what you think about Jerrod Carmichael's monologue and the Golden Globes. Let me know what you think in the comments, and until the next video, peace.